Archives are a nation's most important treasure. The Ottoman Empire maintained this understanding for centuries. Upon the proclamation of a Reformation movement, significant projects were undertaken in archiving, as in many other fields. The construction of the first truly modern archive building was begun by order of Sultan Abdul-Mejid on November 9th, 1846, and completed in 1848. Since the days that the document repository was founded, the archives have been run by the Prime Ministry. In the early years of the Republic of Turkey, the legal and organizational framework necessary to ensure the protection and orderly preservation of these archival treasures was established. The General Directorate of State Archives, which consists of the Directorate of Republican Archives and the Directorate of Documentation, both located in Ankara, and the Ottoman Archives Directorate in Istanbul, employ a total of 669 staff, 243 in Ankara and 426 in Istanbul, of whom 450 are experts in their respective fields. On October 4th, 2004, the General Directorate of State Archives received a TSE EN ISO 9001-2000 quality certificate and became the only quality certified archive in the world. All the documents in the inventory of the General Directorate of State Archives are housed in specially constructed depots, equipped with climate control systems. All year round, from the hottest day of summer to the coldest day of winter, temperature and humidity are maintained at ideal levels. Moreover, the depots are equipped with argon gas fire extinguishing systems that automatically operate in case of fire without damaging documents. Classification continues at both the Ottoman Archives Directorate and the Republican Archives Directorate. The Republican Archives house 30 million documents, and the Ottoman Archives more than 100 million documents. The total length of the shelves on which these documents are stored is 200 kilometers, and nearly 80% of those documents have been completed. Classified information for 5 million documents is accessible online, free of charge. To ensure that a healthy Republican archive is established and the Republican history is written, more than 500 affiliate organizations and departments are monitored and audited. These organizations and departments are provided with necessary training and guidance, and documents that are eligible for archiving are identified. Once their waiting periods have expired, these documents are systematically transferred to the General Directorate of State Archives. The Documentation Directorate has been cataloguing, indexing, classifying books, periodicals, electronic publications and documents released by public institutions, professional organizations, foundations, associations and individuals using the latest international methods and techniques since 1988. We have an immense inventory of archival materials passed on to the Turkish Republic from the Ottoman Empire. These are sources of authentic value that can be referred to when writing the national and common histories of the Middle East, the Balkans, Eastern Europe, North Africa, and the Arabic nations. Adding the documents regarding the Turkish War of Independence and the Republican period to our immense archive reveals the extent of our potential. Any regional and world history written without carrying out research on Turkey's extensive archives may be full of historical gaps. Many bureaucratic procedures were eliminated from our archives with a view to facilitating scientific research. Researchers are given access to our archives upon their application. Since 2004, our research halls are open on Saturdays as well. The number of foreign researchers is increasing day by day. Until today, 32,000 researchers have applied for and carried out research in our archives. The transfer of documents from the Ottoman and Republican periods to microfilm and digital storage media is continuing at full speed. As of November 2005, a total of 3 million documents had been transferred to digital storage media, while another 1,300,000 documents had been microfilmed at the General Directorate of State Archives. Openness, as the common tenet of modern archiving, is the guiding principle of our archives. The catalogues prepared to introduce our archives to the world have been accessible via the internet since 2002. By November 2005, our website welcomed a total of 1.5 million visitors, and our site boasts a total of 96,000 registered users. Archives are the most objective of all sources of history. It is essential that judgments regarding the past be made on the basis of primary history sources, i.e. archives. Otherwise, subjective approaches not backed by archival materials will only reawaken past hostilities among nations. With a view to ensuring that the Armenian question, which has been handled on a political and ideological basis in some countries, is evaluated scientifically by using the original sources of history, all related documents have been classified and are now accessible to anyone. Volumes of books and thousands of computerized documents on the Armenian issue are available today. On the basis of the documents in its possession, the General Directorate of State Archives has published hundreds of books regarding Ataturk, Gallipoli, Mosul and Kirkuk, Turkestan, Cyprus, Bosnia, etc. Researchers also have access to these publications via our website. Archival materials damaged by physical, chemical or biological factors are painstakingly repaired by our expert restoration personnel. The General Directorate of State Archives' international relations and promotional activities are handled in conjunction with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other relevant organizations. In this context, cooperation protocols were signed with 28 countries. At the 15th International Congress on Archives held in Vienna by the International Archive Council in August 2004, Turkey was unanimously elected to the Board of Directors of Eurobika. This was the first time that Turkey had served on the Board of Directors of Eurobika, the European branch of ICA. The General Directorate of State Archives has organized 10 thematic exhibitions abroad and 22 in Turkey. The General Directorate of State Archives, which houses a 700-year-old cultural and historical heritage, has a crucial role to play in shedding light on the histories of the region and the world alike. Our archives, being the unique treasure of our glorious history that guided the world's civilizations for centuries, will, in the reliable hands of the General Directorate of State Archives, continue to shed light onto the past, not only of our nation, but of other nations as well, by providing an objective perspective on history. The General Directorate of State Archives' quality policy is to offer archival services under the related laws to organizations, institutions and researchers on the basis of its quality and management system, aiming at total quality management, respecting freedom of information, focusing on customer satisfaction and, accordingly, adopting the principle of continuous improvement. The General Directorate of State Archives is dedicated to becoming the international model in total quality management in the field of archival services.